All right, y'all, it's time to get started on our animal portrait. Now, we are focusing on Patty Donahue, and she does these super cool portraits of animals. We're focusing on space, trying to have our animals feel like they are up close to the viewer. The viewer is whoever's looking at your art. We're going to focus on using bright colors, and you can make your animal silly if you want. Are y'all ready to get started? Let's do it. So we are focusing on drawing a portrait of a cow. Let's get started. Now, I am going to first start with the top of the cow's head, and I want it almost in the center of my paper, right? This is the center, so I want to make sure I'm kind of focusing over here. I'm not starting on this side of my paper. I'm right here in the center. And I want to make sure I draw it big. Try to draw as big as me, because if you don't, your cow is not going to go off the page, okay? And the whole point is to have the cow feel like it's up close, okay? So try to follow along and draw as big as I do, all right? Let's get started. I'm going to start with just a straight line. And I'm going to come down, give it a little bit of a curve. I got a diagonal, and I start to curve it. And I'm going to go all the way down and begin to curve again. Across. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect the head and create the head of the cow, okay? Come up, curve it, and then connect it to my line, okay? Remember, you can be practicing. You do not need to start on your final now. Practice first. Use pencil. I'm using a Sharpie so you can see what I'm drawing, okay? All right, so now let's add our nose. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up just a little bit, about, I would say about an inch. And I'm going to come up with a line on this side and repeat that line on this side. And that way now I can connect those two lines, and that will be our nose. Okay? We can go ahead and add in our nostrils. Think about kind of like an oval shape on each side, and then bring a little point down, a little point down. So now we have our nostrils. All right, so we're going to add the body, come up to the top of the head, find the center of the head. Is this the center? No, that's all the way to the left. Is this the center? No, that's the right. In the middle, the center. And take a line and bring it off the page. I went right directly to the corner of my paper. Okay? Now, what else can we add? Let's see. Let's add our ears. Remember, I want it to go off the page. So I'm going to start and take it off. I came down a tiny bit and brought it up. From here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to bring it in a tiny bit and bring it out, okay? I'm going to add some detail, so I'm just going to do 2 lines inside, okay? Let's add our other ear. Again, I want to come down a little bit and then out off the page. And this one, I'm going to widen it out and then come back in tight. Okay, so see how I came out and then brought it in. And again, 2 lines to add some details. And I'm gonna do a few zigzags. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, we're almost finished drawing our cow. Let's add some legs. I'm going to add this one. And I'm being a little wavy with my lines. I'm not making them perfectly straight, okay? So I got my 2 lines to create that leg. I'm going to come over almost in the middle of that nose, right? And I'm going to come over with a straight line, and I'm going to bring it down a little bit of it at an angle. Push that up so you can see it. A little bit of an angle. And I'm going to do a line on this side, and I'm going to have it higher than this line, okay? You see how I have this one higher? And then I'm going to add a line here that goes off the page. So now we have our cow's body. I'm gonna move this over a little bit. Okay, so we are missing something. What are we missing? Yes, the eye. eyes. We need to add the eyes. Okay, so we need to have them a little bit at an angle. They're not straight like people's eyes, right? We have them slanted a bit. So find your ears, go down about an inch. You can use 2 fingers to help you with that if you'd like. And I'm going to do a curved line and connect it with a curved line. And then you can come down and do a little bit of detail. See, I took that line out on each side. And now we're going to repeat that and do it on this side. Take your finger, bring it across to help you guide, so that way you don't have an eye down here, right? So take your finger, guide yourself across. That way you know where to add your next eye, okay? And you can be using a pencil to help you with this, because it's going to be hard to make them exactly the same. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit to help me with that. So, again, coming off, and I have one eye that's a little bit bigger and thicker, so what I'm going to do is come over here and thicken that up to kind of help even them out. Okay? That's how I'm going to fix that issue, because drawing something exactly the same is very, very hard. Let's add our pupils in. Okay, so now we have our portrait of a cow. Now here's where you get to use your own creativity. How are you going to color your cow? What colors are you going to use? What is your background going to be? So in this picture, remember, her backgrounds, when you look at her work, they're very, very simple. And in this picture, the background is also very simple. So you can use this background. All you would have to do is create a line here. Now you have your horizon line. This is your ground. Here is your sky. You can do that. You can also add in the cloud here if you'd like. And I'm just kind of do like my own little cloud. Okay? So you can do that, or you can create any kind of background you want. Now let's look at her pictures one more time. Look at all that color. If you want, you can add a tongue to your cow to make it silly, like the donkey and the dog. So look, I'm going to put my tongue right here. Boop. So now my cow is looking a little bit sillier and funnier. Remember, she likes to bring joy and happiness to people. So however you want to add that color, y'all, it's up to you. And as always, I'm going to put a picture up of how I colored in my cow and what colors I used, okay? And right now, I'm just going over my lines to kind of make them a little bit thicker. Because her black lines and her pictures, her black lines, her outlines are very thick. They stand out. So that's why I'm just going over my lines to make them a little bit thicker. Okay, y'all. I cannot wait to see how each one of you use your own creativity and your own imaginations to color in your cows, inspired by Patty Donahue's Portraits of Animals. Okay? Bye, y'all.